4152 here on State Highway 146, just north of Liberty. You can see we've got our sign out there at the right-of-way line, our delineators. The sign back here actually says 48D4, signifying the beginning of the SPS4 out here at this location. As you can see, it had been drizzling a fair amount. We kind of tried to sit it out. It has let up a little bit. This section does have a fair number of transverse cracks, mid-panel transverse cracks. A large portion of the center joint is no longer sealed, and we did try and Joe Marco went to great lengths to try and show where those locations are that it is sealed and or not sealed. Got a little bit of a widened slab here, maybe an extra foot past the stripe, and a fair number of corner breaks and spalls that I'll point out as we go down. You can see many of the transverse cracks are actually considered moderate severity because of the amount of spalling and faulting that exists at them. Very few of the transverse joints have more than 50% sealed. So they're primarily 5H's. Again, you can see that we've got quite a bit of spalling along the transverse cracks. Station 1 here. It's one of the better transverse cracks, still fairly tightly closed and little if any spalling. Again, you can see how most of the sealant is missing. Here you can again see where we're missing a lot of the sealant along the longitudinal joint. Got a few high severity corner breaks, relatively small, but still more than a foot. Another one of the low severity transverse cracks. There you can see one of the moderates that has more of the spalling. Station 2, you can see some of the longitudinal joint spalls that were not quite big enough to count as a corner break, but we went ahead and counted them as longitudinal joint spalls. And the transverse cracks there. Some more of the longitudinal joint spalling there. Got two fairly high severity corner breaks going all the way up to that paint stripe and all the way out. Quite a bit of spalling, missing material, the whole bit. Here, more of the longitudinal joint spall. Not quite enough to turn as a corner break, but definitely deteriorating. Here's one of our high severity corner breaks. Little patch here. Some more spalling, pretty high severity with some patching as well. Here you can see we got some cracking coming off, but it doesn't actually connect. It would have been big enough to kind of the corner brake, but it's not quite big enough, doesn't quite come all the way back down to connect with the shoulder itself. So really all we can do is kind of a longitudinal joint spall. And that gets us to the end of section 484152 here on State Highway 146, just north of Liberty, Texas. Looking to the south back in towards Liberty, back to the north over our test section. And with that, I'll go ahead and shut the camera down here for section 484152. This is section